Welcome to a busted play, an illegal use of hands to the face short. The U.S. government has finally found a bipartisan issue, and it is that the NCAA screws over its athletes. So today, they ruled that team or schools now can compensate athletes not in a salary type of way, but they can supply them with other incentives like overseas scholarships, computers, grad school scholarships, anything that the school can actually provide in that way to incentivize athletes to come there and to also make money in a way. What are your thoughts on that, Hayden?
That's interesting. So you're the expert here, so I have to ask some questions before we move on.
Mm-hmm.
How does this play into the role of outside endorsement deals for NCAA athletes?
From what I saw, the Supreme Court did not say anything clearly on that, but they did notice that everything that the NCAA has done so far is violating antitrust laws. So because the students really only have one option, and it's the NCAA, and they're just like weakening themselves or weakening what athletes can do to a point where, yeah, you have to come here, and this is all you can get.
Interesting.
Uh, Scholar or endorsements and everything, I think they'll be decided on the conference because that will be the main regulator, not the NCAA anymore, but the SEC, Big 12, Big 10, Pac 12. All the conferences will be able to decide what schools can and cannot do.
Interesting. Well, I like that then. I mean, I'm all for it even more so. Just looking at tickets to go to college football games this season, I'm already seeing that to sit in the no upper decks in college stadiums, but not looking to sit too close to the field is still looking like a pretty expensive venture this season. And I think there's room to help kids out more. I mean, I don't understand why before we couldn't have things like laptops count as like scholarships and other things like that can't be counted as part of their scholarship need or whatever. That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. So it definitely makes sense that they move on to this. I would just really hope to see that these conferences, and what I've seen recently is that these conferences actually have a lot more to do with how things play out than we may realize a lot. Conferences actually have a lot more impact on teams than, say, the NCAA does as a whole because they've got a smaller group to regulate and they can keep a closer eye on these guys and make sure that they're doing everything right. So that's always interesting to see how the conferences go up against the NCAA body itself. I hope that those conferences move towards allowing athletes to get their endorsements if they're big enough names. No reason that someone like I don't know, just a name out of the history bucket, Reggie Bush, just massive star in college, can't make money off his name. It's really weird to me that you have to actually, to be able to play for somebody else, you have to basically make it so that they can tell you that you can't use your own name for stuff. That's weird to me. So it's good. We're moving in the right direction, but it's still not all the way, and we just need to keep going in that direction so we can get great things back, like pay these athletes, and then we can get some solid, real NCAA football back in the video game market. And, if EA Sports College Football, when they bring it back, is able to have actual names in the game, that will be awesome.
Yes, yes. One conference that I'm very, very interested in is the Pac 12 because majority of Pac 12 teams are in California. California has ruled or will rule that athletes can or are required to be paid, college athletes required to be paid or can be paid, can pursue endorsements. That is going to make the Pac 12 insane to watch. Then, if every five-star starts flocking there to play because they can make money, and then you're going to have the SEC complaining to the NCAA at that point, just like, hey, make it so we all can pay these. I think that is going to be the big thing there. If that or has that gone through in Cali, I'll have to look that up.
Could you
But
imagine if we got I'm pretty sure that did pass in California. Now the thing is it's going to get connected to the Pac-12 as a whole, because the Pac-12 is made up of a lot of California teams, but not every team is in California, obviously. So with that being said, can we get it so that the Pac-12 is then made into the like the most marketable or most attractive conference to all these students? It seems like in recent years, we've really gotten away from any of these Pac-12 teams being big names in the college football space. We get this new playoff format that they're talking about at the same time as like a lot of kids getting pulled away from the normal Southeastern Conference schools, Clemson, and other things like that to go to these Pac-12 schools. We have a balancing of sorts in the college football world, and then we have a 12-team playoff to go to. College football may be headed to its like have its most exciting years in front of it if we can really get like as balanced of a game as possible in the college football world, because we all know that right now it's really, in terms of recruiting and stuff like that, it's not balanced at all.
No, no, and I find it funny that like these colleges that just have winning histories, like Ohio State, like yeah, they made it to the championship game, but they haven't really won a champ. When was the last time Ohio State's won
Well, they beat Oregon,
championship?
and I can't
Yeah,
remember if they won
but
since then. They I think they did one more time. I don't know. See, not that's why we don't talk about college football too much.
yeah, Urban Meyer was getting praised as this great recruiter and everything. I think guys just go to big schools that they know their name's gonna get heard. I can see someone forfeiting that and be like, oh, I'll go to UCLA if I know I'm gonna get paid there. I'll go to UCLA.
Yeah,
It would be
absolutely.
insane to see UCLA win a championship with just guys like, yeah, we're getting paid this whole time, and then they make more money on top of that because they win the championship. Oh, I'm very excited now.
So who takes over the college football world California, if California like clearly makes this rule, says your conference or like the NCAA can't go against it. They can't like suspend you or anything for it. Who's the biggest winner there? UCLA, USC, Stanford, Cal? Who do you think comes out on top initially? Just like in the first few years of this happening.
USC because they're the bigger name out of the four.
You don't think there would be a changing of the guard at all?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think USC, Cal, Cal and UCLA. I mean, Cal's a little step down from UCLA. Stanford, though, you kind of need to be a little smart to get into Stanford. I don't know if they're just going to be letting any guy into Stanford
If you've
there.
looked at those schools, none of them are too weak on the GPAs. I'll
Oh
say
yeah.
that. So don't knock any of them really, but yeah,
Hmm.
Stanford is especially probably. Yeah, but the awakening hopefully is coming, and hopefully it'll be extremely exciting.
Yes, yes. A new era of college football may be upon us.
hmm Perfect timing for us, right?
Hmm. Oh yeah.
All right, y'all set?
Yeah, I think we can cut this here.